Hello again, fellow comic addicts. It's Joe from Black Box Silver and Bronze, and Rex and I are here to take part in the Dinosaur comic cover challenge from Alan the Comic Collector Geek. So let's check them out.
How you doing, Rex?
Were you scared?
Hey, comic addicts. I'm going to show you some great dinosaur covers. And I was really surprised that when I started searching them up, I had at least 38 dinosaur covers that I could find in my collection. I was surprised I had that many. And so I'm going to show you my top 15. So number 15 is Batman, number 497. That's probably not one that comes to mind, but there's a T-Rex right there. This is the issue where Bane breaks Batman's back and was part of the Nightfall storyline that ran from Batman number 491 through 500 and then jumped across to Detective Comics, Showcase 93, and Shadow of the Bat. And then that was the first part of a kind of a trilogy that ended in Batman number 500. And so this is really cool. This is the newsstand edition. Most of the editions you see, half of the cover is covered up with that extra piece of paper. I don't know why they did that, because this is an iconic cover that you would really want to see. So here's something interesting. Why is that T-Rex one of the trophies in Batman's cave? So all those things in his cave have certain meanings. That T-Rex is from an early issue of Batman, Batman number 35. There was a big game hunter that lured Batman and Robin to an island inhabited with dinosaurs. But it turns out that he was luring them there because he didn't want to hunt dinosaurs, but he wanted to hunt Batman and Robin. And then, of course, Batman and Robin figured it out. And they took one of those dinosaurs, which actually turned out to be animatronics, back and have it in the cave now. So that's number 15. And at number 14, you have to have Godzilla, the king of the monsters, one of the most famous dinosaurs on the list. And this is Godzilla, King of the Monsters number 1 by Dark Horse Comics from June of 1995. And it is just a great cover. He looks very destructive and ferocious. And that's an Art Adams cover, Godzilla, King of the Monsters number 1. Next is Judo Master number 98. This is a great composition on this cover. You got Judo Master there with the spear, because there's some kind of huge prehistoric eagle or something with a talon coming at him. He's trying to protect that woman, but behind him is a dinosaur coming up. And this is the Modern Comics reprint from 1977, which reprints the Charlton issue from December of 1967. And this was the final issue of the Judo Master run, Judo Master 98. Next up at number 12, Astonishing Tales, number 14 from October of 1972, with a beautiful Gil Kane cover. There's Khazar taking on that dinosaur there. And I'm going to put up on the other side of the screen Khazar volume 2 number 1. Take a look at it. It looks like it's a continuation of this scene right here, because you've got Khazar and Zabu and a dinosaur laying on the ground. Looks similar to this dinosaur. And Khazar has a knife in his hand, a bloody knife in his hand. And so that one is from 1974. It's a John Buscema cover. And it has the origin of Khazar. Okay, number 11, Rip Hunter, Time Master, number 18. You got that big purple dinosaur crushing the time capsule, and Rip Hunter and his crew trying to run away. So Rip Hunter was a series that ran from 1961 to 1965. It had 29 issues. And being that it was time travel, there were several issues that had dinosaurs on it. So issue number 1 had a dinosaur. Issue number 17 had a dinosaur. And this issue had a dinosaur. And Rip Hunter's first appearance was in showcase number 20 from March of 1959, which also had a dinosaur cover. So that's my number 11. All right, coming in at number 10, another Silver Age classic, Metal Man number 18 from March of 1966, The Dinosaur Who Stayed for Dinner. This is a Ross Andru cover, and that is a robotic dinosaur, but it's a dinosaur, so that's my number 10. Staying in the Silver Age, number 9, Conga, number 8 from September of 1962. And this is a Steve Ditko cover, and all the stories inside have Steve Ditko art as well. And so you really can't beat like King Kong taking on some of the other monsters, Godzilla or something like that. That's basically what this is, right? Conga. So that's my number 9, Conga number 8. Number 8, Star Spangled War Stories, number 101, another Ross Andru cover. And if you want dinosaurs, this is the comic to be hunting, because after the Mademoiselle Marie run that I really like, in issue number 90, which was the last Mademoiselle Marie story in those in a row, they started putting dinosaurs on the cover. And so issue number 90 had a dinosaur on the cover, 92 had a dinosaur on the cover, and once it hit issue 94, there were dinosaurs on the cover all the way through issue number 137. So there you have number 8, Star Spangled War Stories, number 101. Okay, number 7, Jurassic Park number 1 from Topps. And this is a beautiful Gil Kane cover. And Topps released this in 1993. I remember reading the book. I was at an air terminal. I was in the Navy, and I was on leave. I was waiting to take a military flight and try to go traveling for a couple of weeks. And I had the Jurassic Park book with me. It was before it was a movie, and I was enthralled by that book. I went right through it. And then when the movie came out, it was just blew my mind away. So Jurassic Park number 1, it was a 4-issue series that told the story of the movie. It was Gil Kane on the cover and on the art. Walt Simonson did the story, and George Perez did the ink. So it's a pretty good comic book, and you can find these 4 issues relatively cheap. Okay, number 6, Doomsday Squad number 7 from Fantagraphic Books. This is from June of 1987, and this is another Gil Kane cover. And the interior story regarding this dinosaur is a John Byrne story and John Byrne art. But that's a great cover, Doomsday Squad number 7, Gil Kane art. All right, we're now to the top 5. Coming in at number 5 is Xenozoic Tales number 2. So this is by Kitchen Sink Press. This issue is from April of 1987, and the story and art are by Mark Schultz. And I find these in the dollar bin, and they are really fun to read. It's black and white interiors. It's basically an adventure in the future, and there's cool cars and dinosaurs, rampaging dinosaurs. And this story, there were 14 issues. It ran from February of 1987 until October of 1996. And once it was finished up later on, Marvel continued it, or I think they reprinted it. They renamed it Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, and I think they reprinted the issues, but colorized them. And like I said, it ran 14 issues, and some of the issues, particularly a lot of the later ones, remind me of some Good Girl art covers, like on Planet Comics or Airboy. And so I'll show you issue number 4 right here, and I'll show you issue number 11, which are 2 of the good ones. So, but check them all out, because a lot of them after you get up to about issue 4, a lot of them have some nice good girl art on it, and it's some pretty nice art there. He does a good job with those dinosaurs. And Kevin, if you're watching, you might know this already, but some of these comics won some Harvey and Eisner awards. I know in 1991 there was a Best Black and White Series Eisner Award, and in 1992 there was a Best Short Story in issue number 12. And so you may already have those in your collection, but if not, that might fit into the type of comics that you're collecting. All right, so number 4, to continue with that theme, is the Topps version of Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Here's another one that I found in a dollar bin, and it's just a really cool cover. It's from February of 1994, and this is the foil collector's edition. It's a Dick Giordano cover, and basically Topps continued the story from Xenozoic Tales. Their run took place in the middle of issue number 10, and Mark Schultz didn't write the story or draw the art, but they consulted him on this to make it fit into the other story. It's a really nice cover with that foil on the top and some nice art by Dick Giordano, and that's Cadillac and Dinosaurs, number 1 by Topps. Okay, top 3. Number 3, Green Lantern, number 30 from July of 1964. Another Gil Kane entry. A beautiful, beautiful cover. The time tunnel and the flying pterosaurs and the dinosaur down there. Something I found out that was very interesting is that those flying pterosaurs are not dinosaurs. So if you look it up, it's a different species. It's not related to the dinosaur. It often gets put in the same stories with dinosaurs and gets talked of as being a flying dinosaur, but it's not. And there's 2 types of pterosaurs. One of them is a pterodactyl, which you may have heard of, and I think the other is a pterodon. I'm not sure about that one, but one of them has teeth and one of them is toothless. But that's another beautiful Gil Kane dinosaur cover, Green Lantern, number 30. Okay, number 2. On a lot of lists, this might be number 1, and for me, this would be number 1, except for the reason I have a different comic at number 1 has a story behind it, which I'm going to share with you. But at number 2 is Devil Dinosaur, number 1. This is a Jack Kirby creation, Jack Kirby art, Jack Kirby story, and this is from April of 1978, and it's just a great cover. It's the introduction of Devil Dinosaur and Moon Boy. It's the origin of Devil Dinosaur and Moon Boy. There's another one. Alan showed both of these, and I thought he would have picked the other one to put in his list. But the other one is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, number 1. And the thing that blows my mind is until you get up to the really high grades, like the 9.8, at lower grades, that newer one is more expensive than this one. For instance, an FVF copy of this is about $40, in the $40 range. And for the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 1, it's in about the $100 range. That doesn't make any sense to me when you can have a beautiful Jack Kirby, the king of comics, creation, beautiful art. That's my number 2. And let me tell you the background for number 1. So when I was a child, I really liked Spider-Man and the Phantom. Those were the 2 comic characters that I was most thrilled about. And so I was really into Spider-Man. I would, anything that where Spider-Man was, I was interested. My grandmother had the Sunday newspaper, and so she saved the Sunday comics for me, and I would read and cut out all the Spider-Mans, and I created this scrapbook every Sunday. I would cut it, I'd read it, I'd cut it out, I'd paste it in here, and I'd date it. And so I've got pages and pages of the Spider-Man Sunday comics. And so I love Spider-Man. Anything that he was in, I was interested in. I had Spider-Man Viewmasters. I had Spider-Man records. I bought these books, the little pocket books. These were great because I got to read all the early issues of Spider-Man in here and all the origin stories. It was great. And so Spider-Man, I just love Spider-Man. So my number one is a Spider-Man comic. What Spider-Man comic has a dinosaur on it? Spider-Man number 165 and 166. Here is Spider-Man issue number 165, and he's fighting Stegron. And something that is really special about this comic to me is this is a comic, one of the earliest comics that I bought off of the spinner rack. This is one that's been with me since my youth. I started buying comics when they were about 30 cents, and shortly before they went up to the 35-cent price point. So this is a comic that I bought. And this was an 11-year-old me loving Spider-Man and seeing an issue where he fights dinosaurs. Who wouldn't like that as an 11-year-old? I love this. That's a John Romita cover. This is from February of 1977. And then let me show you the splash page, the very ending of this. And when you see this splash page, what child wouldn't want to get the next issue? So this is a double comic for number one. Here is issue number 166 from March of 1977. And look at that. The team up of Stegron and the Lizard going against Spider-Man. I mean, come on, 11-year-old boy would love that. You know, when you think of those battles in your mind, like, what would it be like if Hulk fought the Thing, or Green Arrow fought Hawkeye, or I was always thinking like, man, I want to see like the Lizard and Scorpion either fighting each other or going against Spider-Man. And then this came out. There was a dinosaur and the Lizard fighting Spider-Man. This is one of my favorite covers. I love this cover. I have a couple of issues of this. I have a slabbed copy. It's the Christmas time theme and the composition of how it's set up, and the Lizard and Stegron battling Spider-Man. Now, a little bit of history about Stegron. This was not his first appearance. This was basically, these two issues were his second appearance, or maybe you'd say his third and fourth, because he first appeared in Marvel Team Up number 19 and number 20. And in those issues, you got the origin of Stegron. He was a scientist, Vincent Stegron, who Shield hired to work with Doc Connors, and they were trying to look into the dinosaurs that were in the Savage Land, and Stegron basically decided he was going to inject the DNA into himself, just like Doc Connors did, and then he turned into the Dinosaur Man. So these two issues also had Whitman variants. I have one Whitman variant of the previous issue. And so those are my top 10. And that's why my number one is my number one, because it's just the personal nostalgia to me. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time, comic addicts. Bye-bye.